Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JC Courtside, coming at y'all today on Monday, May 18th. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. I hope everybody's having a phenomenal day. Welcome on in. I would like to say I apologize for the lack of energy in this intro. I'm sure you guys can understand. I hope your basketball team won last night because mine didn't. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you all had a great weekend. I'd like to say what a roller coaster of emotions of the weekend I had. I'm glad I didn't do an episode Saturday morning after the Friday night game. I just had a feeling, and I said that on Thursday's episode if you guys were here. I said that the Pistons would win Game 6, a crucial Game 6 away, and then shit the bed at home. It's the most Detroit thing you could possibly do, and, well, they didn't get me. I called it. And I said, I just like to remind y'all, these podcasts are going to be very, very entertaining for the rest of the postseason. It is. It's going to be a good time. Now, I did forget to do something. I forgot to set up a segment for the Wolves to say goodbye to the Wolves. I completely forgot. To set up a segment. So we will do it on the fly today. That's on me. I apologize. I will probably end today's show with a goodbye to the Minnesota Timberwolves. With like a what's next for them as well. We did it. We will be doing a goodbye to the Detroit Pistons as well. It'll be the final time we talk about them throughout this season. I know a lot of you guys are probably rejoicing as well. Let's just get right into it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review if you're a podcast listener. And TikTok, YouTube, guys, be sure to drop some likes, follow, subscribe, all that jazz. And I would like to start off by saying my prediction for this series. Actually, I was almost right. My winners were right, but I don't think that's a crazy hot take. I think most people pick the Cavs. But I said Cavs in 6. I also said Thunder in 4. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty right. I said Knicks in, I think 6. I'd have to look back, but regardless, the Cavaliers win in Game 7. In the pizza box, Little Caesars Arena. Yeah, I mean, I'm not upset by this whatsoever. I think the only thing I'm sad about is just the season being over. This was the best season I've ever gotten to watch as a Pistons fan. Like, actually watch, not watch through my parents' eyes. That's the only reason why I'm sad. I'm not surprised by the outcome. Maybe as far as Game 7 goes, I'm surprised by that outcome. But as far as, like, being upset, I'm not. I'm just sad that the season's over because this was my favorite season I ever got to watch. We'll be talking about most of the stuff. Unfortunately for the Cavs, there's not much to talk about last night. I guess all I can say about the game last night was that Kenny Atkinson finally adjusted. He finally adjusted. It took him 7 games to realize the reason why I picked Cavs in 6 to begin with. I don't know why it took him 7 games to adjust, but better late than never. He saved his life. He saved his job. Better late than never, man. Better late than never. I said Cavs in 6 because they have 2 guys that the Pistons did not have an answer to. And that's Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Now, you guys are probably wondering, but I thought you said Jalen Duren was ready. Absolutely not. I said, even if I thought Jalen Duren was the Jalen Duren of the regular season, I said Cavs in 6 still because they match up so well. And the main reason I said Cavs in 6, and I hate to do this, and I'm not going to overreact, but it's because of Tobias Harris. That's the main reason. Tobias Harris can't guard Evan Mobley. Tobias Harris can't guard anybody in the starting lineup for the Cavaliers. And that's why I picked Cavs in 6. It's not Tobias's fault. And last night, you truly saw it. And I don't know why it took Kenny Atkinson 7 games to finally make that adjustment, but he finally did it, and that's what matters. In fact, my favorite quote I saw after the game was when they were asking Kenny Atkinson what his adjustment was. I think this is hilarious, but Kenny Atkinson came out and said his tactical adjustment was avoiding Asar Thompson at all costs. We were just like, if he's near the ball, throw it to somebody else. And I think that It's not rocket science here. It's not rocket science. They were attacking Tobias Harris all night long. If it wasn't Tobias Harris, they were attacking Duncan Robinson all night long. They attacked Duncan all series, but they weren't attacking Tobias. And every time Tobias got switched on, or they were getting him in pick and roll action, Tobias had nothing left, man. He had nothing left. He burned everything in the tank. And the last 3 games, he was collapsed. And that was it. And I would like to speak on the Cavaliers a little bit. Donovan Mitchell, and I'm going to say this for Cavs fans, Donovan Mitchell was a no-show pretty much all series. He had one good half, and I think this game was probably his best game. And you know why it was? I said Donovan Mitchell has done nothing impressive. Live and die by him scoring. And, well, Donovan Mitchell shut my stupid ass up because he actually passed the ball yesterday. So I take it back. Donovan Mitchell was not a no-show. I was okay with Donovan Mitchell scoring 50 points last night. I was. Because had he scored 50, it really doesn't matter. Nobody else is going to give you anything. But what Donovan Mitchell did last night is something that I've never seen Donovan Mitchell do before. And I hope national media is talking about it because he had 8 assists last night. And that's not to say he's never had 8 assists before. But Donovan Mitchell, it's either he scores or he misses. And that's typically the offense of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, Eddie in the TikTok is telling me, dude, he cooked y'all the whole series. And now this is where I don't like people lying about things. Because I guess I will do it. Last 7 games. Let's go ahead and look at his averages throughout his last 7 games. Donovan Mitchell is averaging, now don't pay too much attention to the points because like I said, he can score all the points in the world. He averaged 28 points per game. He shot 45% from the field and he shot 28% from 3. I wouldn't say he cooked us. That's by definition. I would not say he cooked. Averaged 2 turnovers a game. And he shot 45% from the field and 28% from 3. Those are his lowest splits in playoff history of his career. Those are his lowest splits in his playoff career. He was better as a rookie in the playoffs is my point that I'm getting at. But last night, he did his thing. He passed the ball. He wasn't passing all series long. He passed the ball, and he got who involved is the main thing. He got the bigs involved. James Harden had a horrible game 7, like he always does. I'm worried about James Harden. I'm really worried about James Harden. Because I'm going to talk about the next series. As you guys know, we're going to preview both series. We're going to talk about the Thunder, Spurs, and the Cavs Knicks. I'm really worried about James Harden. In fact, I'm not worried about James Harden because he's going to get what's coming. And honestly, I'm happy for Mitch. I'm happy for Donovan Mitchell. I'm happy for Evan Mobley. I'm very happy for Jared Allen. I'm extremely happy for Max Strus. I'm ecstatic for Sam Merrill, Dean Wade. I'm excited for all those cats. Unfortunately for them, since James Harden's on their team, I can't root for him. James Harden is my least favorite player in the NBA. Any team he's on, he can be on the Pistons, and I'm rooting against him. I'm not rooting for James Harden. I can't deal with him. He's the most egregious, most disgusting. He changed basketball for the negative. I'm not trying to show my biases here for anybody, but I will tell you, you guys know the only players I hate in the NBA. James Harden is on the top of my totem pole. He is a horrible watch. He can't get by anybody anymore. So all he does is revert to foul baiting. And that's all he did all series long. I can't root for James Harden, but I am rooting for the rest of the Cavaliers. I love Mitchell, love Allen, love Mobley, love Strus. I love everybody on this roster. Dennis Schroeder, you love him when he's on your team. But I can't root for James Harden. And hopefully that doesn't offend anybody else. Again, I have to reiterate this. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, they finally set the game plan for them. You know what I mean? And you know, Cavs fans, I hate talking about the Cavs because they will immediately tell you, and I'm quoting this guy, Eddie, in the TikTok, he knows the rule book. If that's your way to cope somebody being a disgusting watch, then enjoy the next series. I'm going to enjoy the next series. I'm going to enjoy James Harden having a collapse, an absolute massacre against the New York. I'm going to enjoy that. So TikTok, if you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Get away from dudes like Eddie in the TikTok. let's go ahead and talk about what I think the Cavs did great and what I think the Pistons did great. Now, for the Pistons, okay, now for the Cavs, the Pistons did nothing well. The Cavs, like I said, they got their big men involved. They played through Evan Mobley. They played through Jared Allen. I don't know why it took them so long. I don't know why it took them 7 games. I picked Cavs in 6 for them. They are the 2 guys I said will be the reason Cavs win in 6. I was wrong. They won in 7. Shout out Sam Merrill. He's been off all series long. Last night, 7 for 10. He hit 5 threes, 23 points off the bench. They didn't even need it. They didn't even need Sam Merrill to have a Sam Merrill game. They didn't need it because all they did was get Evan Mobley and Jared Allen involved, and that's why they won the game. Donovan Mitchell had 26. James Harden had 9 points. He was 2 for 10. He had 9 points, and he was 2 for 10. But the most important thing that James Harden did was he didn't have 10 turnovers. He made smart passes. They won the possession battle, and that's why they won. All James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, their goal was to get the ball down low. They killed Duren. They killed Stu, or what's left of Stu, because that's not Isaiah Stewart, and they killed Paul Reed. If you got to rely on your third center to try to win, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The Cavaliers, we will be talking about them shortly because we are going to preview the Knicks Cavs series. Okay. Also, shout out Thomas Bryant. I hate that dude too. Now, as far as the Pistons go, I don't know what more I can say, man. We will be saying goodbye to them here in a minute, but I don't know what I can say. Nobody had a good shooting night. They shot below 40% as a team. Cade. And if you call Cade out, saying Cade sold them, Cade this, Cade that, you're invalidating your entire argument, and I will not listen to your basketball takes ever. Cade Cunningham played on one lung this entire playoffs. And, you know, he had a rough series, but at the end of the day, I can't put this on Cade Cunningham, man. He deserves no blame whatsoever. And I hope people understand that. I see Twitter blaming Cade. I see Twitter saying could never be Brunson. I just have to let y'all know, man, I don't care. Cade Cunningham is incredible. And he knows what he needs to improve on this summer. He knows. Cade needs to improve on limiting his turnovers. That's it. And the best way to help him limit those turnovers is to get another ball handler. If you blame Cade for anything in the playoffs, you're looking at the wrong guy, man. You're looking at the wrong guy. Let's go ahead and look at Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren in the postseason had 7 games scoring under 10 points. He had 7 games in the postseason under 10 points. In the entire regular season, he had 6. This guy in 14 games managed to tank all his value. All his value. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's sad. It's really sad. Last night, he was 3 for 7, 3 turnovers, 7 points. Sasser was 3 for 12 last night. Danitz Jenkins was 4 for 12. Cade was 5 for 16. Asar was 2 for 7. He hit 2 threes. He hit 2 threes, though. He hit 2 threes. I'm leaving here with something. Not last night, he hit 1, but for the series. And then Tobias Harris, man. Tobias Harris, 0 for 6. 0 for 2 from 3. In fact, I saw a stat from Tobias Harris that in his last 3 games, he was 0 for 11 from 3. Or no, he was shooting, I think it was 10% from 3 in his last 5 games. 10% from 3. And in the last 3 games, he's averaging 8 points per game on 25% shooting. Ran out of gas, man. Ran out of gas. I'm not going to put this blame on Tobias Harris either. He ran out of gas. They wouldn't be there without Tobias. TikTok is telling me, sorry, it's the same guy, Eddie, in the TikTok. He said, Asar sorry does nothing but foul. Yo, Eddie, I understand you're a Cavs fan, bro. I understand. Are you going to spend your morning front running in my TikTok chat? Is that how you're going to spend your morning? Because genuinely, bro, I said Cavs in 6. I don't know why you keep going on and on and on in the TikTok. What I will say is TikTok, if you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut. I would love to see you guys come through to the Twitch. Yeah, I'd love to see you guys come through to the Twitch. It's a much better viewing experience over here. We don't have guys like Eddie over here in the Twitch. We have much worse. No, I'm kidding. We have much better. Yeah, man, Tobias just ran out of gas. That's all. I'm really upset I didn't get to see the rematch between Pistons and Knicks, but it happens. Let's go ahead and talk about what's next for the Detroit Pistons before we preview the next round. Let's go ahead and talk about what's next, okay? So, what's next? Oh, wrong button. My apologies. Wrong button again. My apologies. Let's go ahead and talk about what's next for Detroit. Shout out to Batha for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you, bro. Be sure to join the Discord as well. You know, Batha just left the TikTok. He just followed the Twitch stream and he said, screw Eddie. F that guy. My boy, shout out to you. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. Welcome, bro. Welcome. And ultimately, I do have to talk just briefly. I'm not a big guy to talk about hindsight and everything. I'm not a big guy to talk about hindsight, but I will say, oh, I'm getting reported on TikTok right now. Awesome. All right, TikTok, fuck y'all too. We're live on Twitch. If you guys want to watch more stream, we are live on Twitch. 120 of y'all, we're live on Twitch. I'm getting mass reported right now, probably by Eddie. So if you guys are enjoying today's stream, be sure to come through to the Twitch. I got to end the TikTok. We are live on Twitch. Bye, guys. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Okay. We will restart that later. I'm not joking either. I was getting mass reported. Okay. Let's go ahead and continue. I do have to say immediately, y'all. Immediately. Okay. Had the Pistons not choked a 9-point lead with 2.5 minutes left in game 5, who knows if they would have won game 6? You know what I mean? Who knows? On top of that, it does have to be mentioned. It has to be mentioned. And I hope you guys understand why I have to mention this. Okay? The Cavaliers ended up having 90 more free throws this series. It has to be mentioned. It has to be mentioned. They had 90 more free throws than the Detroit Pistons in these 7 games. 90. I'm not going to mention it if it's not important, right? Eddie, I don't know. I was getting mass reported over there. Appreciate you. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. They had 90 more free throws than Detroit. That's not the reason why they lost. It's not. It's not the reason they lost game 7. I'm never going to be somebody that blames referees blatantly for losing. I'm not. By the way, Eddie, I banned you from the TikTok. Now you have to watch on the Twitch. Shrill, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you, bro. Much love. Much love, much love. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch, my boy. Be sure to join the Discord as well, guys. Be sure to join the Discord. We host watch parties in there. We're probably going to watch party tonight for the Spurs Thunder. I just have to be honest. Watching Mark Davis officiate this series, it seemed pretty unfair as well. Both games with Mark Davis officiating, the Cavaliers had 20 more free throws than the Pistons. That's not why they lost. I just have to preface that. That's not why the Pistons lost. The Pistons played horrible. The Pistons relied on defense all season long and then didn't bring any defense to the plate last night. That's not why they lost. That's not why the Pistons lost. I just have to keep saying that. It was a hard watch. The second quarter real time. Do you guys know how long it took? Do you guys know how long the second quarter took real time? 54 minutes. 1 quarter of basketball took 54 minutes. That's not an exaggeration. That's not a joke. The second quarter took 54 minutes because of how many fouls they were calling. Now, I will admit, the Pistons were hacking like a mud last night. Tobias Harris was grabbing arms. He couldn't guard anybody. They were hacking. They were hacking, but they were calling everything. Mark Davis said, I'm not allowing any of this. They were calling everything for the Cavaliers, not for the Pistons. They were calling everything for the Cavaliers because I saw them holding. We all saw them holding. But that's what happens, man. Mad Marcelo, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Okay, guys, let's talk about what's next for the Detroit Pistons. Okay, let's talk about it before we move on. The Detroit Pistons own all of their picks. They own all of their picks. They have 7 first-round picks. They own all of them. That's good. That's really good. That's really, really good. Now, we need to talk about the Pistons as a whole. You can be tough. You can talk about being tough. You can pride yourselves on defense. But this isn't 2005 anymore. You can hang your hat on defense, but you can't rely on your defense to win basketball games in 2026. You can hang your hat on defense. The Thunder do it. But you can't rely on your defense to be perfect to win basketball games. In the regular season, you can. You can. In the playoffs, you can't do that. And I said that. That's why I picked Cavs in 6. You can hang your hat on defense for sure. But you cannot tell me with a clear head that if you just play defense and nothing else, you can win in 2026. That's not true. The officiating proved that. The Pistons proved that. There's this guy on TikTok named Red Fortnite, and he said they are a young team against a hungry James Harden. He's definitely hungry. He's fat as shit. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about what's next. So they have all their first-round picks. Now, as far as the roster goes, this is why Pistons fans shouldn't be that upset about this loss. Okay? This is why. If you guys look at the NBA team payroll, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the most expensive roster in the NBA. I love when people are coming in TikTok and saying, what happened to your Pistons? I said Cavs in 6. I mean, we expected this. Not that big of a blowout, but we expected this. The Cleveland Cavaliers are in the second apron, and they have the most expensive roster in the NBA. That's what the Cavs have. You know who's number 2? The New York Knicks. They have the second most expensive roster. Let's scroll down to the Detroit Pistons. Let's go ahead and scroll down to the Detroit Pistons. Well, the Pistons, there's only one team in the NBA next year that have a cheaper salary than them, and that's the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls have $90 million locked up, half of that to Patrick Williams. The Detroit Pistons have $104 million locked up. That is the second lowest on this entire list. Go ahead and look at all the worst teams in the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets have a more expensive roster than the Detroit Pistons as of now. The Grizzlies have a more expensive roster than the Detroit Pistons as of now. I'm not going to keep saying as of now. You guys get the point. The Jazz have a more expensive roster than the Pistons. The Bucks have the more expensive roster than the Pistons. The Hawks have a more expensive roster than the Pistons. The Mavericks have a more expensive roster than the Pistons. The Hornets have a more expensive roster than the Pistons. The Heat are more expensive. The Pacers are more expensive. The Blazers are more expensive. The Magic are the second most expensive team in the NBA. The Wizards are more expensive than the Pistons. The Celtics, the Thunder, the Suns, the Pelicans, the Nuggets, the Raptors, the Clippers, the Kings, the 76ers, the Lakers, the Wolves, the Rockets, the Warriors, the Knicks, the Cavs. They all have more expensive of a roster than the Detroit Pistons, except for the Chicago Bulls. So let's go ahead and talk about the Pistons and what their plans are this summer. So the key free agents are Tobias Harris, Kevin Huerter, Javonte Green. Okay? Those are the free agents. Now let's talk about what I believe the Pistons can do this summer to improve their efforts. Now, because mind you, the Pistons are the third youngest team in the playoffs. The Thunder, the Spurs, and the Pistons. So the fact that the Pistons were the youngest team in the East, hey man, like I said. I also, wait, time out. I have to talk about this real quick. Look at me, y'all, look at me. Do you guys want to know why I'm not upset about the Pistons season ending last night? At the trade deadline, Trajan Langdon, the Pistons GM, he came out and said, and I quote, I'm going to paraphrase the quote, but he said, because they asked him, do you believe this roster can compete for a championship? Trajan Langdon, the Pistons GM, responded by saying, championship? We're not worried about a championship. We're worried about winning a home playoff game. We're worried about winning a playoff series. You're talking about winning a championship and what we're trying to achieve, those are completely different things. Those are two completely different monsters. Right there. Right when that happened, I looked at all of you guys and I said, the Pistons, if they verse the Cavs in the second round, they will lose. Trajan Langdon said that this is going to be an evaluation year. They asked JB Bickerstaff, are you disappointed in this season? He said no. And honestly, I respected his answer when he said that. If you guys were to ask me, Jay-Z, are you disappointed in this season? No. My answer is no. It's plain and simple. I'm not disappointed in the season. Can I be disappointed in the final game? Sure. But am I disappointed in the season? No. This team won 14 games 2 years ago. This team made the playoffs last year and lost in 6. This team won a playoff series this year, and we're 5 wins away from being in the finals. How could I be upset? How could I be upset? I've watched losing season after losing season after losing season after losing season, and so on and so forth, to go from 14 wins 2 seasons ago to 60 wins this year. I'm not upset. I'm not. I'm very happy about how the season went. I'm just sad that it's over. Now let's talk about this. Some guy in the TikTok just said they have to give Cade the max. Brody, can you sit this one out? You know nothing about basketball. So, Tobias Harris is going to be a free agent. Tobias, you ran out of gas at the end, but we wouldn't have been there without you. So you did not anticipate being the number 2 of a playoff team. So I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you, Tobias. I would love to bring Tobias Harris back. I want him to retire a Piston, but he needs to be a bench role. He can't be a starting 4 in the NBA anymore. He can't. He can be a backup 4, and I think he'd be a great spark plug off the bench, but he cannot be a starting 4. If he's still a starting 4 next season, bro. Somebody in the TikTok said, bro, speaking highly of Tobias. Yeah, man, the Pistons wouldn't be here without Tobias Harris. Did he lose the last 3 games? Did he suck in the last 3 games? Yes. He ran out of gas. He ran out of gas. TikTok, please stop being casuals. You know what? I'm done reading the TikTok. 120 of y'all, if you guys want to talk to me, come through to the Twitch. I'm not reading the TikTok anymore. I can't handle these brain dead takes. I would love to bring Tobias Harris back on more of a discounted offer sheet. I hope they bring him back. Now, let's go throughout the rest of this roster. Kevin Huerter, you're leaving. You're not going to come back. JB Bickerstaff didn't play you. I don't blame you, bro. Leave. Go get a contract somewhere else. Okay, Duncan Robinson, he's locked in. Stu. Now, this one's concerning to me. We'll come back to him. Okay, we'll come back to him. Karis LeVert. If I see him in a Pistons jersey next year, let's go ahead and talk about Asar Thompson. Asar Thompson is eligible for his rookie extension this summer. He's eligible for his rookie extension this summer. As soon as free agency opens up, 5 years, $150 million. I have Cade Cunningham and Asar Thompson as my future. Future's bright. Future's bright. I have Cade. I have Asar. Future's bright. 5 year, $150 million. Let's go. Let's go. He's already getting the respect from the opposing coaches. Their game plan going into this game was avoid Asar Thompson at all costs. We were just like, if he's near the ball, throw it to somebody else. Okay, let's see. We're going to come back to Jalen Duren. Ron Holland, I'm going to come back to you as well. Paul Reed, you did what you can, bro. You did what you can. Danis Jenkins, great story of the NBA season. One of my favorite stories of the NBA season. Marcus Sasser, he's eligible for extension. I doubt they do it. Javonte Green, great pickup. JB went away from him. He's a free agent. And then, yeah, our rookie Chaz Lanier, Tolu Smith. Okay, so let's talk about what the Pistons need. This isn't a difficult thing to say. You need to give Cade some help. You need to surround Cade with shooters, and you need another ball handler. It's that simple. And I was thinking the other day, man, Trey Murphy, Lauri Markkanen, we need a volume 4. They do need a volume 4. They need a power forward that can shoot threes at a high clip. They need that. Tobias Harris is not that. That's why I'm saying bring Tobias off the bench and hold on to him off the bench. But in the meantime, you need a starting four that can shoot threes. You need a starting four to shoot threes. I love this comment. He said, my boy, where's my comp is in the Twitch stream. He said, what up, my brother, coming from a Cleveland fan, Ohio native. Shout out to you for being consistent. Shout out the Pistons. Y'all bright, y'all future bright for show. I appreciate that comment a lot, bro. I appreciate the comment a lot. Hudo, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Much love to you, bro. Shout out to you. I appreciate the follow a lot. So I was thinking Trey Murphy. I was thinking Lauri Markkanen, somebody who can get you a three whenever you need one, right? Those are good pickups. But if you get those without getting another ball handler next to Cade, I'm concerned. Because you're going to run into the same issue. I'd love Rui Hachimura as well. If you are going to go get a volume shooter at the 4, make sure you're getting another ball handler as well. Trey Murphy, Ayo Dosunmu, Rui Hachimura, Lauri Markkanen. These are Kobe White. These are all guys you should be targeting. D-Book's contract is too expensive, but yeah. These are all guys you should be targeting. You need to get Cade some help. You need to get Cade. Remember, guys, they're 5 wins away from being in the finals. They're 5 wins away from being in the finals. I think Danis will be a good 6-man. Taylov, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you very, very much. Very much. I wouldn't mind Luke Kennard off the bench either. Bring him back home. Evan Mobley is not underrated. Evan Mobley is overrated. The issue that makes him underrated is I said he was the X factor for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I said if you can contain Evan Mobley, you win this series. Last night, they changed their game plan and they got Evan Mobley and Jared Allen involved, and that's why they killed the Pistons. That on top of Pistons not being able to make shots. So like I said, guys, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Jalen Duren. God damn it, man. You complicated everything, JD. You complicated everything. They're going to announce all NBA here in the next coming days. You complicated everything, my boy. You did. Cade deserves none of this blame, man. Cade deserves none of this blame. Cade will work on limiting his turnovers in the summer. Jalen Duren, I bought your jersey. I got a picture with you, me and my fiance. Evan Mobley did not lock up Jalen Duren. Jared Allen did not lock up Jalen Duren. Wendell Carter Jr. did not lock up Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren locked up Jalen Duren. Nobody locked Jalen Duren up. Jalen Duren locked Jalen Duren up. And that's not to discredit Evan Mobley. He's a fucking incredible defender. Jalen Duren locked up Jalen Duren. My boy Hudo came to the Twitch stream and said, no problem, bro. You know ball unlike those other guys on TikTok. I appreciate you a lot, bro. Thank you. Thank you so much. Be sure to join the Discord, guys. Join the Discord. We host watch parties in there throughout the entire playoffs. Join the Discord, Hudo. Exclamation point Discord in the chat. It's right there in the chat. Shout out to Taylov, HJ17, and Darius for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. Shout out to you guys. Thank you, seriously, so much. I really appreciate y'all, man. Jalen Duren, locked up Jalen Duren. And again, I'm not discrediting Evan Mobley. I'm not discrediting Evan Mobley at all. I'm not. He's a great defender. But Jalen Duren locked up Jalen Duren. He couldn't do anything against anybody. So what they do with Jalen Duren, it's not going to be interesting, I assure you. Pistons fans, I'm sorry to break it to you. Jalen Duren's not going anywhere. Sorry to break it to you. JD is not going anywhere. He's going to be a Piston. Don't overpay him. And we're fine. He's not going anywhere. He's not going. In fact, if I were to give you guys 3 things to look out for, Pistons fans, I'm talking to you. There's 3 things this offseason that realistically should happen. And if they don't happen, GG's to next season. Hear me and hear me well. Number 1, get Cade another ball handler. He needs another ball handler. That's number 1. Ayo. Kobe White. Get him another ball handler. That's number 1. Number 2, do not overpay Jalen Duren and Tobias Harris this offseason. Do not overpay Jalen Duren and Tobias Harris this summer. If you overpay on Jalen Duren and Tobias, there goes all your money this summer. There it goes. There it goes. Don't do it. Don't do it. Bring back Tobias. I love Tobias. Bring him back off the bench. If you see Tobias Harris starting at the 4 spot next season, I'm telling you this now, so clip it so you remember. Simulate the season. I don't care. I love Tobias. I love Tobias. But I said it all year long. This team needs a proper 4 who can spread or stretch the court. I said it all year. Get him on a little bit of a discount and bring him off the bench, and do not overpay Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren is not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Cade and Jalen Duren are best friends. They're best friends. They traveled through Rome, Greece, everywhere last summer together. They are best friends. Duren's coming back. He's not going. So don't overpay him. And then number 3, ladies and gentlemen, get more shooting. You can't keep having these one-dimensional players who can only defend. You can't. This is 2026. You need to just take what you can get. If they can shoot at a decent clip and defend at an average clip, that's more than fine. That's more than fine. Those are the 3 things that you guys need. You need a ball handler next to Cade. You need to not overpay Jalen Duren and Tobias Harris. You need to get more shooting. Hopefully Malik Beasley gets cleared. He's waiting to be on the Pistons again. He's waiting. And now finally, this is my last take. I said it in the watch party last night. So long as JB Bickerstaff is the head coach for the Detroit Pistons, they will never win the championship. This stings saying that as a Pistons fan. I just told y'all all the enthusiastic things that you need to have. As long as JB Bickerstaff is the head coach for the Detroit Pistons, they will not win a thing. And now, there is a catch-22 by me saying that. There's a catch-22. So long as you can limit the players that JB has a personal relationship with, you have better chances. Guys, JB Bickerstaff is a great guy. Great guy. Great motivator. I'd love to get drinks with him. Cool ass guy. JB Bickerstaff is fucking awesome. I love that guy. But he is not a mentor to these players. He's their friend. I saw so many videos of JB Bickerstaff hanging out with Karis LeVert throughout the summer, partying with the team at Tom Gore's, the Pistons owner's mansion in LA. They're all dancing, hugging, drinking, singing together, rapping together. JB is their friend. JB is not a guy who's teaching them how to play. He's their friend. They just extended him. They're not firing him. He will be the head coach again. At the end of the day, you need to keep Cade Cunningham happy. And hopefully, eventually, they realize, he's not going to be the guy and he's a bridge coach. And this is not to discredit anything he's done. He turned a 14-win team into a 44-win and then a 60-win. It's not to discredit him. I think he's a great dude. I think he's good at coaching. My issue is he allows his personal relationships to interfere with his coaching. There's no reason Karis LeVert deserved any minutes. Oh, but he had 24 in a game. That's fine. That 24 in the game that he had is what gave him the rest of the minutes for the rest of the series. You cannot have your best friends on this team and he's your coach. That's all I have to say. I'm very happy about how the Pistons season went. I'm just sad that it's over. As long as you can get another prominent scoring guard, another ball handler, another confident guy, and you have Cade Cunningham and Asar Thompson there, I'm happy and I'm proud and I'm excited for the future. The Pistons' future is very bright, and that's what I need people to understand. People are talking about the Phoenix Suns getting smoked in Game 7 against the Dallas Mavericks. The Phoenix Suns had their foot in the funeral home and a foot out of the other. They're old. You can look at all these other teams that have collapsed or fallen or underachieved. The Magic, they underachieved. They have the most expensive roster going into the next season. You have all these other teams When you look at the Pistons, they have the brightest future of all of those teams because they were playing with house money. And there's only one more team in the NBA left right now that's playing with house money. And that's the San Antonio Spurs. Doesn't matter if they win this year. They don't have to. They have already won this year. It was an improvement. And that's what matters. And that's what matters. So I'm excited for this offseason. It's going to be very interesting for Pistons fans. We shall see what happens. Guys, let's go ahead and preview. Now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and preview the playoffs. All right. Let's start with the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder because they play tonight at 8:30 p.m. By the way, guys, join the Discord as well. Join the Discord as well, okay? Because we probably are going to be watch partying this game tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, all right? The Discord server is right there in the chat. Unfortunately, TikTok, you guys cannot join the Discord server. Only Twitch viewers can. Exactly, guys. Exactly. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. And see, Batha, I think that's the most important thing. Don't listen to Twitter. I know it's hard. Don't listen to Twitter. Don't listen to TikTok. If you're going to listen to anybody in regards to basketball, I'm going so far as to say there's not many people in this world that know more NBA than I do, especially the Pistons. Just to emphasize it, especially the Detroit Pistons. Especially. So don't get too hung up on Twitter. Let's go ahead and talk about this series. Shout out to you, Flidge. Is it Flidge? Is that your name? Flidge. Thank you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Thank you so much. Kenny, good morning. Of course, join the Discord, guys. Let's talk about the Spurs Thunder. Now, what do I think of how this series is going to pan out? Listen, I'm looking at one matchup, ladies and gentlemen. I think we all are, right? I'm looking at one matchup. Who are the two best players in this series? Just one per team. One for the Thunder, one for the Spurs. You guys tell me who are the best two players of this series. Shea Wemby. Not rocket science. Thank you, guys. Duh. Shea Wemby. Whoever's the better one out of those two wins this series. Plain and simple. So let's focus on those matchups then. They're probably going to be running Stephon Castle on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're probably going to be blitzing him as well. Shai's winning that matchup. He's winning that matchup. The big issue, though. Thunder fans, close your ears. Wemby versus Chet. You guys want to know my X factor, right? The X factor for the Thunder is Chet Holmgren. Chet, what do you have? What do you have? Let's look. Chet Holmgren against Wembanyama. I wonder if that's a stat. Perfect. He has averaged 13.8 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Let's check out the shooting splits from Chet. 48% from the field. That's good. Not good for a 7'3" guy. 34% from 3. So the main issue at hand here, is that Chet just looks scared when he's up against Wemby. It's not that he's playing poorly, but it's that he plays scared. And that's the biggest issue. Wemby hates Chet. We know that. Chet, we don't know how he feels about Wemby. He can't like him. You can't say Wemby and Shai are the X factors of the series. You expect your superstars to perform. So that's why I'm saying the X factor for the Thunder is Chet Holmgren. And I think the X factor for the Spurs, it's quite obvious. It's the same guy as it was last series. It's De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox really needs to show up and show out. I'm not asking you to average 25 points a game. I'm asking you to go for 18 and 8. That's all they need out of you. Fox, all they need is 18 and 8. That's it. That's it. That's all they don't need much. And now, of course, I was waiting for the question, what about J-Dub? J-Dub is back. Do I think he's going to be a X factor? No. No, nothing's telling me that J-Dub. The thing is, they're going to need J-Dub to show up and show out. They're going to need him. The issue is he's been bad in all the games he's played this year. Shooting 48% from the field and 29% from 3 this season. They're going to need something out of him. But their X factor is going to be Chet. I'm not even saying offensively it's going to be Chet. It's going to be defensively. Can Isaiah Hartenstein, can Lou Dort, can Chet just bother the hell out of Wemby? If they can bother the hell out of him, if they can annoy him, if they can give him pain and agony and just stress him out, then this is in the Thunder's bag. It is. This is. I'm actually not sure, Zach. I'd have to look at that. I think that's a great question. Dylan Harper as well. But Dylan Harper is not really going to be an X factor. He's just going to be the surprise factor. Does that make sense? We can go ahead and look at Wembanyama's stats versus the Thunder. Let's check this out. So this is dating back to this season. Let's go ahead and look at this season. Wemby's averages this season against the Thunder in these 5 games, 18.5 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He's shooting 52.5% from the field and 62.5% from 3. I wouldn't invest that much stock in it. It's only 8 threes. He's shooting 5 for 8. I wouldn't invest that much stock into it. But I genuinely believe that this series decides who wins it all this year. This series decides it. And no, that's not what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. I think you guys think you know what I mean. What I mean by what I just said is that if the Thunder make the finals, they win. If the Spurs make the finals, then my winner that I have coming out of the East wins. I'd like you to hear me and hear me well, man. I mean that with my chest. I mean that with my heart. If the Thunder win this series, they win it all. If the Spurs win this series, it's the winner that I have chosen out of the East. I'm really excited for the series. I think basketball fans should all be really excited for the series. You tell me that, but they have Karl Anthony Towns, who is quite literally the byproduct, the archetype to slow Wemby down. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, so you guys heard my X factors. It's Chet on the defensive side for the OKC Thunder. And it's De'Aaron Fox from the offensive end of the San Antonio Spurs. Now, you guys are probably wondering, Jay-Z, if you were to predict this series, that's all you guys want. What would you say? Because I've been firing from all cylinders. I've been firing from all cylinders lately. I couldn't have predicted 76ers beating the Celtics. I could not have predicted that. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and get the prediction down. Spurs, Thunder. The Spurs won 4 out of the 5 matchups against them, including the in-season tournament this year. So my prediction is Thunder in 7. That's my prediction. I believe the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to win in 7 games. I personally think it could be over in 6, but I'm going to go ahead and respect the Spurs enough to say that they can take 3 games off of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think what it's going to come down to is experience. That's what it's going to come down to. That's what it's going to come down to. Now, I think I'm giving too much respect to the Spurs, and I'm putting too much stock into the Spurs against the Thunder in the regular season. I think I'm putting a little bit too much stock in it. But you know what? The Thunder have coasted all playoffs. I think the Spurs can shock them a little bit. I think they can choke. I think they can mess with them a little bit. I think that's my final answer. I think I'm going to go Thunder in 7. This guy in the TikTok is telling me, you're going to regret this. Don't put any money on OKC. Spurs are going to win. It's a good thing I don't put money on anything. It's a good thing I don't gamble. I'm not going to put money on it. And I don't recommend you guys put money on it. Do you think OKC will blitz Castle and or Fox? Do you think they'll sit in zone coverage? No, there's no need in blitzing. There's no need in blitzing at all. I think J-Dub comes back and low-key hurts them. That's my main thing. So I love this comment by Eddie. He said, so you said you hate Harden because he flops, but he actually gets contact and sells the foul. But SGA, flat out flops, contact or not. Listen, Shea is the best player in the NBA. Does he flop? Yes. Is it a byproduct of James Harden? Yes. I fucking despise James Harden as a player. I'm sure he's fine in person, but he ruins what I believe is the most entertaining thing in basketball, and that's defense. I enjoy defense, and James Harden exploits everything. Yes, he gets contact. Yes, he does. But does he exaggerate all of it? He's the one that started it. I'm not rooting for James Harden. Eddie, I'm sorry. I'm not rooting for James Harden. I can't root for a guy like that does that. Sure, foul baiting is a skill. It's a special skill. It's a special skill. It is. I'm not denying that. Let's go ahead. I think it's Thunder in 7. I think it's Thunder in 7, and they will be in the finals. I think I am giving the Spurs too much credit. I think I am, but I am going Thunder. I'm hoping it's Thunder in 7. I want an entertaining series. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. Okay, so the Knicks are going to have home court advantage. Let's go ahead and talk about what I think. Both teams take a lot of threes at high volume. The New York Knicks have been better at pretty much everything that both teams do well. The Knicks are a better three-point shooting team. The Knicks are a better scoring in the paint. The Knicks are a better defense. The Knicks have the best player in the series. The Knicks have home court advantage. Let's go ahead and talk about matchups. I think something to look out for that's going to be super interesting is to see OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges take turns on Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. I don't think you're worried about James Harden at all. I think James Harden has exhausted all of his abilities in the last round. James Harden I think he's exhausted everything he's had. James Harden struggles the longer the playoffs go on. Donovan Mitchell, he made his first conference finals, but unfortunately he's up against the New York Knicks right now, which I don't think it's great. I don't think it's great. Somebody in the TikTok is telling me just grow up and take the loss, bro. My goodness. Wait, what am I doing something wrong, ladies and gentlemen? Am I doing something wrong? Please somebody correct. Am I doing something? Is the TikTok just waffling right now? I said Cavs in 6 last series. What am I saying wrong? I'm also not a Knicks fan. What did I do, TikTok? Genuinely. I have no idea what I did. I said Cavs in 6 against the Pistons, bro. What did I do? I don't think Harden's going to perform. Yeah, come to Twitch. You know what? I'm done with the TikTok. 120 of y'all. I'm ending the TikTok for the stream. Love y'all. Not really. We're live on Twitch. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I'm ending the TikTok. I'm sorry, guys. If you guys want to come through to the Twitch, that's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. There's 120 of y'all. I'm ending the TikTok. Come through to the Twitch. If you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will personally gift you a $6 subscription so you no longer get ads. We're live on Twitch. Chat, they're all complaining that I'm ending the TikTok. We're live on Twitch, guys. They're all complaining right now. They're saying, no, he ruined it for us. He ruined it for us. All right, chat. Let's go ahead and continue. I think the Knicks have too many weapons to throw at Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. Harden's tired. I don't think they're going to give him the foul calls that they were giving him against the Pistons. I don't think they are. I really don't think they are. I don't think James Harden's going to be getting the calls that he was against the Pistons. I think OG Anunoby is going to be performing well. Obviously, I hope they don't rush him back. I think Mikal Bridges is going to continue this hot streak. The Cleveland Cavaliers are averaging 18 turnovers a game, leading the postseason in most turnovers. The New York Knicks don't run the ball well, but if you're going to let them, they'll do it. So their goal is to just force Cleveland to turn it over. That's it. Blitz all the screens, and I think they'll be fine. No sliding. Thank you. Thank you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch. Game, this is a much better stream over here, bro. This is a much better stream over here. Be sure to join the Discord as well. Knicks, yeah, I guess Knicks lead most points off turnovers. Didn't know that. I don't know if that's true. I'm not going to say that. I don't know if that's true. Sometimes you guys just spam random stats in here. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Okay, Dolfo, I'm doing a podcast right now, bro. I'm recording. Hello, you have said good morning to me like 17 times this fucking bro, I'm recording the pod. Do you need the attention, Adolfo? You need it? Sit in fucking timeout, bro. Holy shit. Excuse my French podcast listeners. There's this guy that just keeps saying, hello, hello, good morning, hello, good morning, hello. And he keeps adding me. I'm recording the podcast, buddy. Hi. Enjoy your timeout. Brape and Sliding, I appreciate you guys for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch. Welcome, boys. Be sure to join the Discord. Let's talk about the X factors for both these teams. Karl Anthony Towns is the X factor for the New York Knicks. Now, Cat is going to have he's going to have a big job this series. It's not going to be easy. I'm sorry, Raph. The Twitch is much better, bro. Like I said, if you watch the Twitch stream for 3 streams in a row, I will gift you a sub. Cat's going to have his plate full. He is. Cat is going to have a tough job this series to try to maneuver between Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. The thing that I think Cat will be better off than Jalen Duren is, well, Jalen Duren is ass and Cat's not. The fact that Cat can stretch the floor and shoot, you guys are really underestimating how much that means against the New York Knicks. You guys are really underestimating that. Karl Anthony Towns being able to stretch the floor is going to help them out a lot. It's going to allow them to dominate from all 3 levels of the court. Jalen Brunson, I think, is going to be able to get whatever he wants. Whatever he wants. In my opinion, I think you are going to see a lot of Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns on the court at the same time together. Unlike JB Bickerstaff, Mike Brown has a brain, and he will play double bigs against their double bigs. And I think that's all it's going to come down to. I like Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns a lot more than I like Jared Allen and Evan Mobley with Kenny Atkinson as their head coach. It took 7 games for Kenny Atkinson to remember that he's got a crazy front court. It took him 7 games. 7. Do I think it's going to take him another 7 games? Yo, Ace and my favorite N-word. Okay, I'm not going to say your name, but I appreciate you and Ace. Thank you guys for leaving the TikTok and dropping a follow on Twitch. Be sure to join the Discord as well. That's his name. That's his name. Your favorite N-word. Yeah, that's his username. That's his username. Guys, be sure to join the Discord as well. We host watch parties. We're probably going to be watching that game tonight in the Discord as well. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It's Oklahoma versus San Antonio. My X factor for the Cleveland Cavaliers is quite simple, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite simple. Again, it's Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, we're going to need you on offense. We're going to need you on the glass. We're going to need you on defense. Evan Mobley had 2 good games against the Pistons. And those 2 good games were the best games from the Cavaliers. So if Evan Mobley is able to be that guy, you don't need to play through him. Just make sure Evan Mobley is somewhat... I've used this comparison earlier in the year. I said Evan Mobley and Karl Anthony Towns are very similar mentally. Not player-wise, but mentally. If Karl Anthony Towns doesn't touch the ball, he gets psyched out, he loses his momentum, and he doesn't really care about basketball. Same thing with Evan Mobley. If they're neglecting him on offense, he's going to neglect them everywhere else on the court. They are mentally weak. They are both mentally weak. And in fact, I'm that same way. In all my years of playing basketball, if I'm not touching the ball on offense, I'm not going to box out as well. I'm not going to defend as well. So to call them mentally weak, as a mentally weak person that does the same thing, I feel him. I feel him. I feel him. So I get it. I really, really get it. Yeah. The X Factor is Evan Mobley. And I will say, Eddie believes that James Harden's going to have a big series. I am going to say no. And I will admit if I'm wrong, if it happens. Raph, thank you so much for the gifted sub. I appreciate it. I will say I'm wrong. You guys know me. I always come out and say, damn, I was wrong. But I don't believe James Harden's going to have a good series. I don't. I think the personnel that the New York Knicks have to guard James Harden, I think it'll be fine. The New York Knicks also don't get called for the stuff the Detroit Pistons get called for. I think Josh Hart, I think OG Anunoby, I think Mikal Bridges, I think they can handle the perimeter just fine. What the Cavs should be worried about is what do they do about Jalen Brunson? What do they do? You're going to put Max Strus. I'm assuming Max Strus is probably going to start the series, and they're probably going to put Max Strus on Jalen Brunson. In case you guys don't know, that's free eats. That's free eats. You can't double. You can't double. And I have to talk about this as well. I have to talk about this as well because I feel like Eddie, my Cavs fan, is somewhat confused. Hey, guys, let's go through the New York Knicks starting lineup, okay? Let's go through it, okay? Let's go with Jalen Brunson. Can Jalen Brunson shoot? I'm not going to wait for an answer. We all know the answer. Hey, guys, can Josh Hart shoot? Hey, guys, can OG Anunoby shoot? Can Mikal Bridges shoot? I don't want to hear Josh Hart still shoots 40% from three, okay? Still shoots 40%. It's a lot better than 20%. It's a lot. When you compare it to Ausar Thompson, he can shoot. Can OG Anunoby shoot? Yes. Can Mikal Bridges shoot? Yes. Can Karl Anthony Towns shoot? Yes. Can Jose Alvarado shoot? Yes. Can Deuce McBride shoot? Yes. Can Landry Shamet shoot? Yes. Can Jordan Clarkson shoot? Yes. Knicks in 6. And that is me giving Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell so much credit. That is so much credit. They can't leave a guy wide open on the court. You can't leave a guy wide open on the court. I don't know if you guys watched the Pistons Cavs series. I want you guys to watch how they defended the Detroit Pistons. K. Cunningham was at the top of the key being grabbed. Ausar was in the corner, and there was no defender within 15 feet of Ausar Thompson. So anytime K drove, there were 5 defenders meeting him, unless Duncan was in the game. Then there were only 4 defenders going around Cade. 4. There were 4 defenders on Cade because they don't need to guard Ausar or Duren near the three-point line or Tobias. They were daring Tobias Harris to shoot. Shot 10% from 3 in this series. You do not need to defend you can't defend the New York Knicks like that. So now you have Max Strus and Dean Wade and who? Jalen Tyson? One-on-one with Jalen Brunson? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say Knicks in 5, but I am giving the Cleveland Cavaliers respect. And I'm going to go ahead and say Knicks in 6. I'm going to say they're going to finish it in Cleveland. I'm going to go ahead and say Knicks in 6. And you guys want my honest opinion? Honest opinion. If they get swept, it would not surprise me. The Pistons drain them. James Harden's going to give you nothing. He could give you nothing. Kenny Atkinson's a bad head coach. He's just better than JB Bickerstaff. I could see it sweeping as well. I could. And you know the Knicks are going to start slow. You know that. But guess what? I can't go ahead and just pick the Cavs because they're also going to be fucking exhausted. They're going to be exhausted. So I'll tell you this much. If Knicks win game 1, that is the one game that they need to be able to steal. They have been off for 9 days. 9 days. 9 days. 9 days. 9 days of rest. Ladies and gentlemen, 9 days of rest. I'm going to say, just to respect the Cavs, Knicks in 6. But if the Knicks win game 1, I'd be very worried if I was a Cavs fan. I would be very worried because that's the game to steal. Yeah, man. I'm going Knicks in 6. And if it's 4 or 5, won't surprise me. Start of the night last night. I could have picked Max Strus. I could have picked Donovan Mitchell. I had to go with Evan Mobley because they finally used Evan Mobley the way that Evan Mobley needed to be used. I'm going to go ahead and read off Evan Mobley's stat line because it was a really good night. He had 36 minutes played, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 2 of them offensive, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was a plus 31 on the court, team high, 7 for 10 from the field, and he even hit a 3. He had 11 free throws. Who didn't have 11 free throws for the Cleveland Cavaliers? And honestly, just a bonus stud of the night, stud of the series. I'll give it to the officiating crew. I've never seen personally a series where a team has 90 more free throws than the other team. I've never seen that before. 90 more free throws than the Pistons. I've never seen that. I've never seen that in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's going to do it for today's show. I realized I forgot to do goodbye to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't have any Wolves fans in here. It's fine. I think everybody, you guys forgive me for not saying goodbye to the Wolves. See you, Wolves. Actually, I do want to talk about them. They got to do something about Julius Randle. They got to do something about him. They got to do something. They need a point guard. I think it's pretty obvious. They need a point guard. They got to get rid of Julius Randle. That's pretty much it. Re-sign Io. Try to trade Julius Randle to Israel or something. Yeah. Bye, Wolves. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's going to do it for today's show. We are probably going to be hosting a watch party tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to watch and you guys want to like hang out with me off stream, if you guys want to hang out with me and talk with my community and everybody else, be sure to join the Discord as well. That's !Discord in the Twitch chat. Most important place to be at to get to know me, get to know the rest of the community. Like I said, we're probably going to be hosting a watch party tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Nobody go anywhere in the Twitch, guys. Be sure to stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. I'd like to remind everybody, if you guys do watch these shows live, it's the best way to watch them. But if you do miss them, if you miss a segment, if you miss a portion, or let's say you're out vacation, you just missed the show, or you want to listen to something while you're on an airplane or a train or in the car, be sure to check Jay-Z Courtside out on Spotify and Apple or the YouTube channel. The link is down in the description as well as the Twitch chat. If you do !YT, that's the main YouTube channel, !Podcast for the podcast channel. But yeah, for now, that's all I got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, y'all, thank you for watching/listening. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. I'm very excited for this Spurs Thunder game. I hope you guys are too. We'll be watching it in my Discord server tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Have a blessed day, everybody.